Hello everyone, welcome to Ladies in Red. My name is Megan. If you don't already know, for the regulars that are here, you'll know obviously my face, but those who are new, welcome to Ladies in Red. Although we're not talking about a team in red at the moment, we are obviously talking about a team in white. We are talking about England. We are on the countdown of our first final, major final since 1966. I still can't quite believe that we're talking about England in the European finals. It's still not quite sunk in. I hope it sinks in before tomorrow because, everyone's got their fingers crossed, haven't they? That we come out the winners tomorrow. But yes, welcome. Good afternoon. I hope you're all very much looking forward to the game tomorrow. There's quite a big weekend of sport going on. I know obviously Wimbledon's finishing this weekend as well. And I normally keep an eye on the tennis, I have to admit, but this summer it's been completely overshadowed by the Euros. Everyone's got behind this team, this England team that seems to just got everybody talking about football. Everyone. I was in the gym this morning. The PTs were talking about it to their clients. You're in the shopping centres, and they're all talking about, I started watching football. It was a great time to have started to watch it, but for those who have followed it for a long time, it's even better. But yeah, still just can't quite believe that we're in the final tomorrow. We are on the countdown. What is it? 3 o'clock now. Less than 30 hours, 29 hours to go, and it will be kicking off tomorrow. But who's going to be starting? I've got absolutely no idea. There's so many discussions, isn't there, to have about which players get picked. Hello to James and Doug and Eve. Yes, I'm doing well. I've had a bit of a week. I did break my phone this week, so it's slightly annoying. Just ever so slightly annoying because it's going to cost money. A lot of money to replace, but it's fine. We move. As James said, if you are new here, please subscribe to the Ladies in Red channel. We often talk about Manchester United. At the moment, we're all talking about England. Talk about Manchester United. James is obviously an Everton fan. Oh no, we've got Villa fans in the chat as well. We do touch on other teams. But we're just here for a good time. It's all about having an opinion, get the fans' opinions, have a chat about football, but we just do it on camera so that everyone can join in. Eve saying it's coming home. Good afternoon, Diego. So where do we start? We're going to talk about the team, just the whole team to start with, because right now I just feel like this team has got England back together after such a difficult year. It's so nice to have something good to be talking about, isn't it? I mean, how long have we waited as football fans to be able to talk about England in the final? The majority of us have never witnessed this. Obviously, if you're slightly older, you may remember 1966. I wasn't even a drop in the ocean right back then. But for many of us, it is the very first time that we've experienced this. I hope it's not the last, but it's something that can just be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We are so lucky to be there and to actually experience it, and hopefully, for many of us, we'll all remember it. Doug saying, last year of our 20s, here we go, 29 yesterday. A huge happy birthday for yesterday, Doug. I've seen that you went out yesterday evening, so I hope you had a nice meal out. And yeah, we're both in the last year of our 20s. We've managed to get to not unfortunately you, Doug, sorry, I forgot you were Scottish then. Started the tournament not bothered, ended loving this England side. And this is what I love about this, because it's just grown into something, hasn't it? Because for many people, a lot of football fans, obviously, we all go in with a little bit of hope into these tournaments of England, especially after the World Cup and getting to the semi-final last time. And now we actually broke that and we're into the final. And I think it's just kind of grown and grown. You've got people talking about how good this team is. And the fact for this team as well, I think, is because there's quite a few new players. And I think Southgate really has got that balance between experience and that kind of youth that he's brought through. And it's such a good mixture that everybody's involved as well. Neil says, hello, Meg. Hope you are. I am very well, thank you. Star-Lord's already given his prediction, so he's already gone for the lineup. Pickford, Walker, Stones, Slab, Maguire. Shaw, Rice said it. Grealish, Sterling, Sancho and Kane. Interesting with the Grealish and Sancho. because they've not had the amount of time that a lot of people would have thought. And I think this, again, is so good about this team, because we were all, Foden, he was going to be the star man. Grealish is obviously a fan favourite. He's a star man. And yet the likes of Saka has completely blown up in this tournament. He's had an opportunity and he's really shone in it. And he's, well, for me, on for one of the youngest players of the tournament award. I think he's done so well. Eve also thinks Sancho will start. It'd be an interesting one to see if he does. Adrian, first time on this channel. Hello, Adrian. I am Megan. Normally, quite a few of us on here. We have individual shows. We've got Safe and Meg show. We've got Ladies in Red show. At the moment, obviously, all about England, and we're talking about Eurovision. That's just anything that we've called it. Zoe, hello. Eve talking about the mentality of this young team is the best we've had since the World Cup, and that again, the balance between having that experience and then having the inexperience of the youth players that just bring it's so good, because you've got this team, and like you could bring like the likes of Henderson on the other day and Trippier. Once the youth have gone out and done what they need to do, those kind of players become essential. And for me, this is why it's so good, because it just ensures that, say tomorrow we go ahead, and you've got somebody like Henderson and Trippier that you can bring on late into the game to see the game through, to use their mentality. They have been in, Henderson, he's won the Champions League, biggest competition in Europe, and he's had that mentality of going through and that experience. So it's great to see, and I think Southgate has managed it well so far for me. A lot, we didn't quite make the subs that people thought, again, line up, but I think he's done it really well. When we won the World Cup, nearly 9 years old, Meg flying solo. I am today. Sophie, if you have not caught up on the channel recently, Sophie's got the hair dye treatment show that you can catch up on. She did a show the other day that you can catch up on. Jonas is with the positivity already. Come on, England, we can beat them. We can. Those are big up Acid. I am excited and nervous for tomorrow, however. I'm confident the lads can deliver and bring it home. It's strange, isn't it? Because I am so excited, but I would say a couple of days ago I was more hopeful than confident going into the game. I really was. This team, I love him. I absolutely love this whole team. But I do think Italy are so strong and completely kind of different to kind of the style that we've played against. They're exciting to watch, I think. They've got those nippy little players, haven't they? The small players rather than the bigger, strong forwards. You've got the ones that are running and about. And I think the likes of Kyle Walker, who I think had an amazing game the other day, his pace will be essential. And that's why I think we will see the same back four. They work well together. You've got Walker with the pace, Luke Shaw going forward. Stones and Maguire have been solid. I really hope that they all have one of their better games in this final. Nobody wants to go out there and really have a stinker, do they? Nobody wants that. Marble Halls, I can't echo what I said. I can't believe we're in a final. We were all hopeful before the tournament started, and we used to have that golden generation of players, didn't we? With the Lampards and the Gerrards and Beckhams and Scholes. And there was so much hype around that era of players, and it never quite materialised, and we never got to the final, and we never won something when everyone said we should have won something. And yet with this group of players, they're there, they've got the opportunity to win something. I can't quite believe we're in the final. Yeah, okay, we've got the luck of the draw. Okay, the route that we had to the final, everyone would have picked. Okay, the German game was difficult, but we came out on top. But then you've got the Denmark game as well, and if you look at the other side of the draw, which had Belgium, France, Spain, the Netherlands, Italy, that side of the draw was something that would we have come through? Who knows now? But it doesn't matter. We got there, whether luck or hook by crook. I never thought we'd see England in the final. Oh, it's just so exciting, isn't it, that we're actually there. We're actually in the final. Let's go back through. Pickford needs to be 100%. Can't afford, and that is a trait of Pickford's, I think, that he is slightly a little bit sloppy at times, gets very excited at times, I think. We've seen a couple of times where gone to play the ball and he's kicked it out of play, or he's rushed a little bit. For me, just needs to settle himself. He has been so good. He's been confident. He's been brave coming out to collect things, or he made the right decision in terms of when to punch it, when to collect it. I hope mentally he's there tomorrow. He's on point. He's sharp. He's alert. He's demanding. He's confident. He's communicating with defenders. I hope we see that Pickford tomorrow. And those little sloppy mistakes, I hope they don't come to cost us. Chloe says tomorrow will be the biggest test of this English side. Still think Italy are big favourites. That Italy-Spain game was the best game of footy I've seen in many years. It was so good, but it did go all the way to penalties, didn't it? And if Chiellini, he was confident going into that. Too confident, slightly cocky. There is a difference there between confident and cocky. But did he win that penalty shootout from that point? Because he was already in their heads. But Jorginho penalty to settle it. Wow. I mean, that was cool and confident and calm. All those C's. Let's go back through. Grealish over Mount is an interesting one. I still feel that the Grealish debate is a really interesting one. For me, I wouldn't play him, and only because the way that he can lift the team from the bench is completely different to what any other player can do. Now, I understand why you'd want to play him. If I had two of Grealish's, one would start and one wouldn't, because I'd love to be able to start him, but I also think that whole lift and the boost, you just don't get it with any other of our players. Now, if you bring the likes of Grealish on and you're still in the game, that momentum will swing massively into your favour. When you're at home as well and you've got all the fans who want to see this one player as well, everybody wants him to play. I just think the fan can be that 12th man going forward. I know it's a bit of an unpopular opinion. I know people want to see him play. But I just feel like he can bring something else off the bench. And when you've got players like Saka, who, by the way, has been unbelievable, like I've said, but you can start a player like that and then bring on a player like Grealish. That's where the difference is. You've got to use your subs well tomorrow. Southgate, I hope he gets it tactically correct. Everybody obviously wants him to get it tactically correct, but when he's bringing the subs on and making his difference, the changes, somebody like Saka, who can go out there and perform to start with, and then can be brought off for another player like Grealish, like Foden, another one, again, that can make a difference off the bench. Sancho, another one that everybody wants to see. I feel like those kind of players can really lift you when you need it. I know we're experiencing some trolls in the comments. I mean, those who are regulars, you can keep getting in. I can still see your comments. I'm a little bit slower because this person is just spamming the feed and I'm just patching back through. But we move on. Mount is only the team because of running work rate. Southgate was run. If you'd have asked me at the start of this season, I wouldn't have picked Mount. And maybe that's because I'm a Manchester United fan. But he's grown in experience as well, and just his style of play, and his link up with players. I think this season has seen him flourish, completely flourish. And the way that he can split defenders and play the ball through, we've seen his corners, Henderson get on the end of them. I have to say that I would play Mount in that number, just behind Kane in the middle of the three, because I do think he links those wide players in. And yeah, Mount has got to be in that team. I do think he's got to be in it. I do think he has. Thank you, JD. Great going, Meg. Big up to you and Sophie for all amazing work. Thank you again. Just for all the mods as well, because I can see you, James. Don't worry, Meg, we've got this. Thank you very much. The midfield battles will be key to allow the flanks being able to attack well. And I think we have used the flanks really well. I think that left-hand side, now at Manchester United, I love the partnership between Rashford and Shaw and the way that they complement each other. And I think we have seen when Rashford wasn't playing on the left and Pogba was, and the way that Shaw still got there, but I think when he was linking up with Pogba, it wasn't as fluent as when he was linking up with Rashford. In this England team, the Sterling and the Shaw link up has been phenomenal. Sterling hasn't even got a look at times. He knows where Shaw's going to be. And the two players who play in very, big rival teams, they have linked up and done so well together that our left-hand side is such a threat and so dangerous. I think Italy will try and nullify that. I think they're going to have to be very wary of that. The way that Shaw has played, and like I said, Sterling has been incredible. Not only has he got goals and carried us through some of the games when, at the start of the tournament, Harry Kane wasn't quite up to speed. Sterling was, and it's nice to see that you haven't got to rely on one player, particularly in this particular instance, Harry Kane. But the way that these two players down the left-hand side have made a difference, because obviously sometimes I think you kind of rely on one side, particularly the right-hand side. This time, balance is so crucial. Let's have a look what we're all saying. Henderson plays ahead of Mount, it's a crime. I think Henderson, again, like I said about Grealish coming off the bench, Henderson's really essential to this team. Like what Southgate did with Henderson and Trippier coming on the other day. Okay, it's not nice for Grealish having to be subbed back off, but those two players with their experience, with their age, not just football experiences, but with their age and just securing it up, can win you games. Let the boys do what they've got to do to start with, then bring on the more mature players, shall we say. I said, Sir Lord General Rashford MBE has to get a goal and a winner's medal after his work the last 18 months. I'd love to see him come on. Would love to see it. I think we all knew going into these Euros, I think a lot of people said that, it was such a go whether he would drop out. We know that he's carrying an injury. I believe that he will go into surgery straight after the Euros. For me, I think he'll miss the start of the season for Manchester United. I think, particularly because we've got to the final with this team, with the World Cup coming up next year. I don't think Rashford will want to drag this injury for another year in case it affects the World Cup opportunity for him. So I think I'd love to see him come on. I'm glad that he made it to the Euros to start with. And I can probably, if he is carrying an injury, kind of understand why he hasn't been featured as much. But I do think that he will go straight into surgery after this and then be ready in time for the World Cup next year. Yeah, okay, misses the start of the season for Manchester United. Bit gutted about that, but if we sign, we're signing Sancho, an automatic replacement, just make sure that we've got enough players. I think England can get joy down if he's right. Di Lorenzo has been suspect. Shaw and Sterling can exploit it down that right-hand side. Completely agree. Like I said, this Shaw and Sterling link up. Love it. Mount has to start. It's so funny that there's so many players that have to start. I think Mount is one of them. Shaw and Sterling, definitely. I can see Sophie's name in the chat, but I can't find the comments. Hey Meg, loving the shirt. Come on, England. Come on, the boys. I love this shirt. I don't know, all the shirt collectors out here, ones with a proper collar. There's something about a proper collar on a football shirt. We can even just, whip it up again. Okay, I'm not going to sit like this forever, but I do love a collar on a shirt, I have to say. This one's smart. I love it. Actually, I know it's not white. That's my only issue. Because I do like the home kits. But this one, white, I'm afraid. I couldn't not. But it is the colour. I do love a colour. England have picked at the right time. I'm trying to get through so many of your opinions because this is what it's about on this show. You having your say, me and the little comment in between. We have enough quality on the bench. It's all about bringing the right players on at the right time. So true. Love hair dye treatment and ladies in red. Keep going. Good work, Megan and Sophie. Sophie has the same birthday, isn't it? Well, happy birthday for a few days ago, nearly a week ago now. So happy birthday to you, Neil, for last week. Only 51 weeks for your next one. Big up, Sophie, in the chat. I hope you're all right, Soph. I'm Blue says, come on, Italy. Listen, it's all about fan opinions. I have your opinion, but come on, England. We need speed against Italy, so I'd be happy to see either Sancho or Saka on the right. Sancho has more ball ability, but Saka has the work rate. True. I think Sancho has got that little bit more prowess on the right. I think his technique is slightly better, but Saka does work and won't stop. And well, we don't see it, do we? I mean, we see clips of training and you know how they are in training, but we don't see the actual what Southgate's doing tactically, do we? So he will have this plan going forward. I think it will be Saka, just because he has been playing. I think he's up to speed a little bit. But, you know, who can call it? Because Southgate does as he pleases, to be honest. So, who knows? I'd go for Saka, and I'd go for Sterling, and I'd go for Mount across the three attacking options. But again, like we said about this whole bench situation with Foden and Grealish and Sancho and Rashford, you've got such good quality on the bench that at any point you can switch it around and say, right, Foden go on, Grealish go on. And I hope we're still in the game at half time at least. And then, you know, that 70 minute mark, I hope we're still in the game, because I don't think Southgate really makes his changes until then. But I don't want him to leave it too late to make that change. I think you've got to keep yourself in this game. Whether you go 1-0 down, fine. Put your head back on. Don't lose it. Don't lose your head. Keep your head in the game. Keep working. And then when you go to make your substitutions and you've got these players that we're talking about, they can come on and be a difference as well. Curtis says, I think it might be 3-1. If Italy score early, then they will just sit back and break down the play in the midfield. I'm saying 1-0 Italy. Has anyone seen Walker's 400-metre relay England team? Sure, Berto is in it and thinking about it. Sure, is that it? Thinking about it. Sure, is that it? He really is. He's impressed. Oh, look, we're ladies in red. We talk about Shaw. We have talked about Shaw all season. An incredible season for him. Best left back in the world right now on current form, without a doubt, in my opinion. And I think there was a big debate about whether it would be Shaw or Chilwell. And for me, Shaw has fully earned his position in this team, without question. I wouldn't even contemplate removing any of them out of that back four, because I think they have done so well. Of course, credit goes to attackers. They're the ones that probably will score your goals. That's what their job is to do. Of course, credit and, you know, the headlines will probably be grabbed by whoever scores the winning goal. More than likely will be an attacking player. But this defence, as a defender myself, I will not stop talking about, because they have conceded one goal. And should Pickford have done better? Yes. Should it have been a free kick? Absolutely no. But it's only come from a set piece. We haven't had anyone convert from their couple of chances that they have created in open play. You know, the one that sticks out is the Muller one, but sometimes your luck's got to be on it, and it hasn't. For us, it has. He says, smash the like, guys. Again, just, you know, this channel. If you want to like the video, go ahead, like the video. If you want to subscribe, we would love that. We have got a merchandise shop as well. There is absolutely no pressure to buy from it. But if you do go on there and have a look and give us some feedback, we'd be very grateful. There is absolutely no pressure. As always, from this channel, we just say it's about you guys. about your opinions. But we do have, if you want to like the video, go ahead, subscribe, the merch as well, the shop, just some feedback would be wonderful. Jules says, wonder if Rashford will get any minutes in the final. He could make an impact, wouldn't start him. Agree. I think my heart would like to see him. My head probably says that we haven't seen enough of him in the tournament. I think we've seen the likes of Foden come on, Grealish come on. Will Southgate kind of revert back to those players? Josh talking about the mentality. I hope the occasion doesn't get to the players. Most of them are used to big finals at Wembley. It's nice to be at home. And this is all part of it, isn't it? That, we're at Wembley, we're at home, we're in London. Just the whole thing, the whole country together, united. I mean, if we win, I've got absolutely no idea how this country will cope. No idea. Josh and I spoke, and he's running into town apparently if we score. So I've seen the celebrations from the semi-finals. I do not know how we're going to cope if we win this tomorrow. Yes, Italy are a good team, and we should worry a little bit, but we are also a great team, and they should fear us too. I think Chiellini's come out and said about, well, what do you expect England? We should expect England to be in the final because we're in England and they've had 6 out of 7 games at home. But whether you're at home or not, you've got to win a game. And for England, we've not been at full capacity in the stadium. I think when you saw the Scotland game and the whole experience of that and the situation that we were in and the environment, that could have easily affected our chances. Scotland could have easily won that game, but England stood strong. We've been away and we've got our best result away from home as well. So I think the mind game for Chiellini has already started, but I think they do fear us. And I think that's one way you can tell they fear us, because they're talking about, they're already making excuses. You're at home 6 out of 7 games. I think that's a little inkling into the fact that we're already in their heads. Ashley says, can confirm the ladies in red hoodies are fantastic, warmer than you think, and looks great too. Perfect for being wished or not, although the sun has shined today. It's been horrific, hasn't it? I mean, the football's been great this year, but the weather, wow, makes you want to move somewhere else. If England do win tomorrow, everyone will be that drunk and have the biggest national hangover ahead of Monday. Where are we all watching the game? That's an interesting one. We're at home watching it, but are you going out? Because I don't. There was a talk about going out and perhaps going somewhere else to watch the game. I've seen the crowds of people in town centres, in pubs. So where are you watching it? Monday, my daughter's school for the semi-final had already put in place that if they won the semi-final, you can come in up till 10:30 the next day, which I think so fabulous, such a good gesture of them. Again, Monday morning they've got the same, so whether we win or lose, my daughter doesn't have to go into school until at least 10:30. But yeah, I think it's such a good gesture. I think Monday morning will just be, I don't know whether Sunday night will roll into Monday morning because if we win, I think it'll just be one long party into the night. I'm optimistic, score predictor, and never get it right, but I'm going for 3-0. I mean, that is optimistic. I think it might be a little bit closer. I do think both teams will score, and I'm not quite sure who's going to score first. If we don't score first, we've just got to make sure that we keep ourselves in it like we did with the semi-final against Denmark when they went ahead. Well, they weren't ahead for very long, were they? Because we kept ourselves focused. I think that's going to be really, really important. I've been wanting to get Ladies in Red merchandise for a while now. It's available. It's got to be done. Thank you, Abel. Like I said, there is absolutely no obligation to buy, but if you go onto the website and you can give us feedback, that would be really nice. Just, you don't have to buy anything, just let us know, give us a bit of feedback. Starlord says, yep, excuses. Italy are the masters of shithousery dark art. I think they've already started, haven't they? But I think that's just one way you can tell. So he says, brilliant touch from your daughter's school, mate. This is, the whole thing, hasn't it, just encapsulated England. I've got a 5-year-old daughter who is absolutely obsessed with it. And she likes football to start with. But we've got the England kit now. She talks about the players. She wants them to score. She loves it, although we were a little bit too loud for her liking when Harry Kane put the rebound in from the penalty. She said that we shouted a little bit too loud, but I just told her to put hands over it. It should be fine. The only thing with her only being 5, will she remember when she's older? And this is why it's so important to just really embrace the fact that England are in the final, because when, who knows when we next might be in one. We've waited 55 years to be in one. So hopefully next time, well, we'll all still be here. Ryan says, we got back in the game quickly against Denmark. I would be worried if we go behind against Italy. Time wasting and annoying fouls will be hard to keep your head. Definitely. I think Italy, they've got that kind of experienced defence as well that will sit there. Chiellini will sit there and be disciplined, I think, especially if they go ahead. But you've got the likes of Foden, Grealish, Sterling, great on the ball. Sancho, great on the ball. Mount, can draw fouls. And I think if we do go behind, those players become crucial to get on the ball and draw those kinds of fouls from players in and around the box, especially. Selection, a huge thank you for the super chat. 2-1 England. Midfield will be very interesting. Expecting Italy to monopolise position. England will look to counter, is what I reckon. I think we've definitely got the pace to counter. And like I said, I would start Mount and Phillips and Rice on the ball. They're ball players. I think Rice is particularly good at picking out players as well, those runs. So definitely got the players to be able to counter attack. We'll just 2-1 England. Let both teams to score. I can appreciate that prediction. Avoid extra time and penalties at all costs. I don't think I will be able. My heart won't be able to take penalties. Watching Spain and Italy, their penalty shootout was enough for me, and England weren't even involved in the game. So I'm not sure how my heart would take an England penalty shootout. I remember in the World Cup against Colombia having the penalty shootout, and Dyer, I can still go back to that moment that Dyer stepped up to take that penalty and having to look through my fingers, and I sat there like this, basically praying that he would score. Penalties are just not for me. I can't deal with it. My heart can't take it. As an Italy fan, I definitely won't be going to the pub with my mates on Sunday. You never know. You might be the only one there. You might find an Italian friend to go with. You might find a Scottish friend to go with, because apparently Scotland has become Italy. I mean, they were all Denmark the other day. Now they're all Italians. So you might find some friends at the pub. Apparently Irish as well. I've seen a couple of people having changed nationalities over the last couple of days. They were all Danish, now they're all Italian, and they all live in Scotland or Ireland. So we're only messing. I think look, there might be a few salty fans about, but you can't deny that England has been, we conceded 1 goal throughout the whole tournament. We're there for a reason. We've won our games that we needed to win. We haven't lost. We didn't lose in the group stages. It's just the look of the draw, and we're there. And Scotland and Ireland aren't. Here in Ireland, all I'm seeing is Italy flags and shirts. I'm still rooting for England. Appreciate that, Zoe. Selection says extra time will be good, I reckon, as long as we score within that window. Italy don't have the legs for that. If it gets to pens, we are toasted. I just would like it wrapped up in 90 minutes. I'd like it wrapped up in 45 minutes. If it was 4-0 up, I'd be absolutely thrilled. But don't see that happening. 90 minutes, it's one of those, if you can score right at the end of those 90 minutes, will we go for it? If it's a draw, will we go for a smash and grab at the end, or will Southgate say, at least contain it and go into that extra time period and don't risk having one grabbed off us? Both Italy and England deserve to be in the final two best teams, but be in the final, two best teams left. I think Italy definitely out of your side of the draw. The way that you came through that Spanish game in particular and the Belgium game, you've had a difficult run to be there. So whether, whoever won that side of the draw definitely deserves to be in it. England, like I said, perhaps an easier route, but you still got to beat those teams. The Danes made it very difficult to get through. We always knew that was going to be a difficult game. The rivalry between obviously England and Germany, that was going to be a difficult game for England. I think Ukraine wasn't as difficult. I think we knew that we've got the quality, but perhaps being away from home was a different challenge for us, but obviously not that much of a difficult one after we came through 4-0. England 2, Italy 1 in extra time. I really hope we do it in the 90 minutes. Like Nippon, I would love, like I said, I would love it to be wrapped up within 90 minutes. I think it will be. I don't think it'll go to extra time. So in the chat saying, Abdul, love that. Send us a pic in the merch. If you do get any, like I said, if you decide to buy, make sure we see it. Let us know. Let us know what you think about it. Daniel, what do you want more, Meg? The Premier League title or England to win the Euros? Daniel, you're asking me nearly just over 24 hours until England kick off in the Euros final. My one and only answer right now would be to England to win the Euros. If I be anyone, a fan of any team that would want the Premier League title over the Euros title right now, I feel right. I mean, well, actually, I found one. Look, Neil's already put Manchester United over England. I've just hit a button on the computer. I've gone massive on my screen, so apologies. My face looks like, oh, what's going on? England to win the Euros for me over a league title. I take the Euros because I've already seen league titles. I think that's part of it. The fact that I've seen Manchester United win, or I've seen Manchester United do a treble winning season. And I think, of course, I would love Manchester United to win the Premier League. I could be greedy and say I want both. But 24 hours before England step foot into a European final, I have no other option right now but to say England to win a European title, just because I've never even seen them get to a final. We had the heartbreak of them losing the semi-final last time, and then obviously losing to Belgium in the third place in the World Cup. But I think this team in particular as well, because for me, just the way that they have lifted English spirits after a horrific and very sad 18 months nearly, that this right now would just be perfect for England. So I would love to see England win the title. But I think England winning the Euros right now because it's something we've never witnessed before. But once tournament over, United, of course, can't we choose both? Sophie and I are greedy. We'll have both. I'd like to do treble winning season again if I'm really being greedy. But yeah, I think we've got to say England. We're 24 hours away from an opportunity to win. Those put always club over country, not that bothered about international football. Is that because of being in Ireland, or just prefer club football? Daniel put, I would love to purchase one, and so replied, Daniel saying, links in the description. Thanks for your support, and be sure to tag us in a pic if you decide to purchase. So that goes for anyone as well, Daniel and anyone else. Links in the description of the video if you want to get onto the merchandise website and take a look. Sophie's got the bucket hat. I'm sure if you go to her Twitter or go on later in Red, you'll see Sophie in the bucket hat because we all absolutely love it. There's mugs on there, there's t-shirts, hoodies, face masks. a dog's outfit, I think. You can even get your dog involved. But there's loads on there. There's gifts, there's everything. So head over to the shop, no obligation, but let us know what you think. The Italian players will try and get our players booked. We need cool heads. It's this, isn't it? All the Italian players. I want them booked. But on the flip of that, the English players are very good at drawing in fouls. They're very good at keeping hold of the ball and kind of inviting the challenge, inviting the foul. And I don't know who the ref is. I've heard it on the radio, but I couldn't tell you his name. I just hope that it's a fair game. That if we are drawing in fouls, because I don't particularly think the ref again in Denmark's game is particularly fair. Harry Maguire getting a yellow card for heading the ball, eyes on the ball completely. I think that was really soft, and if that had come back to haunt us, how disappointing would that have been? But I just hope it's a fair game in terms of the ref. I think the refs have been fantastic. I think the VAR use has been second to none in the tournament. I think it's really showed us that VAR can work. So yeah, just hope it's a fair kind of game tomorrow. How many times will England get to the final realistically? United have a higher chance at winning the Prem than England. United have a higher chance at winning the Prem than England the Euros, to be honest. Grab one trophy and run out. Completely. How often can you say that you've ever seen your team, even, I know the Spanish went on a bit of a run saying, they won the World Cup and the Euros in succession, but, they haven't been back since. I don't know the last time Italy got to a final. So, with the World Cup coming up next year as well, Brazil and Argentina are in the final this weekend as well, aren't they? There are countries across the world right now. Football, the talent in this footballing world is on another level at the moment. And for England to actually be in a major final, firstly, great prep for next year, but I just hope that we just go on and win. It'd be heartbreaking tomorrow evening if we don't. Absolutely heartbreaking. I'm just going to run through who I would play. So I'm going for Pickford at back, the same back four as Walker, Stones, Maguire and Shaw. The middle two of Rice and Phillips again. I think they've been superb. I'm going for Saka on the right, Mount in the middle, and Sterling on the left with Kane up front. So the team that we've probably seen before, probably no surprise to anybody. The only person that might surprise us is Southgate, because you know what he can be like. Bloody playing Trippier at left back in the first game threw us all off, didn't it? But that's the team I'm going for. I want to see Grealish get on the pitch, of course. My heart would want Rashford to get on the pitch to be a part of it. Sancho, there's so many players that you want to see. So many players. But yeah, that's my team for tomorrow. I want to wrap it up by saying I hope we all enjoy tomorrow evening. I really hope that we're sitting here on Monday. Soph, if you're still in the chat, to confirm whether there's a show on Monday, because if not, it's going to be me. I'll be sat here on Monday evening. But yeah, I think tomorrow, for everyone, I think just enjoy it, embrace it. I've got to go to football in the morning and somehow contain the excitement and pretend that I'm not in the European final, just at training. Enjoy tomorrow evening, everyone, wherever you may be watching it, whether you're in England or somewhere else. To the Italian supporters that we've had in the chat as well, I think RB Comps, good luck. May the best team win. Let's hope it's England, but may the best team win. There you go, So's confirming it. Ladies in red on Monday. Let's hope we're not crying. Well, we might be crying, might be happy tears. But let's hope that we're sat here talking about England, European champions, rather than the runners-up. But a huge thank you to everyone in the chat today supporting Ladies in Red. We will be back Monday. And just enjoy tomorrow evening, everybody. Stay safe, enjoy the game, and we shall see you Monday evening.